Hey, this is Mike from the Graphic Novel Show. Are you interested in starting and running your own podcast? Well, you know, this is the second one that we've done. We used to do a different one, and we decided to start this one. And last time we used Anchor, and you know what? We decided to go back with Anchor again because they are the easiest way to make a podcast. They give you everything you need in one place for free. You can do it right from your phone or on your computer. Anchor gives you creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast so it sounds great. You can do that right from your phone. That's quite amazing. They'll also distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere, like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. You can easily make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Now, what you need to do is go download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Hi, I'm Parker, and I use they, them pronouns.
And I'm Mike, and I am he, him, and whatever else fits. And this is the Graphic Novel Podcast. Welcome to our show.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, this is a show where we read graphic novels or sometimes some short comics, zines, things like that. And then we do a review discussion. And we can talk about a lot of different things on this show.
Sometimes we talk about divorce. Sometimes we talk about abortion. A lot of times we talk about queer issues.
We have kids and relationships, all different kinds of stuff. So, yeah. So it's a cool show. And we're glad you're listening. And if you like our show, we'd appreciate if you go to
Twitter, go to Apple Podcasts, and give us a great rating. And if you leave a review, we may read it on the air.
And if you visit us at anchor.fm, Graphic Novel Podcast, you can actually leave a voice message that we can play on the air.
That's exciting. Do you remember growing up and hearing your voice, thinking how cool it would be to hear your voice on the radio? Yeah.
All right. Well, and on to today's show.
Hi, Mike.
Hello, Parker.
It just got really dark out.
It did. There's some giant black clouds hovering above us.
How are you feeling?
If you've listened to the show before, you can tell that my voice is a little scratchy and clogged.
Your voice is clogged?
Yes. Last week we didn't do a show because I had a nasty cold for several days. I actually had to take a couple of days off from work.
I don't think that you would have taken the days off under normal circumstances. Maybe one day.
I would have definitely taken one, maybe two. The third one I probably wouldn't have if it wasn't COVID. I just wanted to make sure I was healthier. Oh, thunder. Yeah, we're supposed to get thunder, lightning, possibly hail, all kinds of stuff. They're supposed to be getting snow in the mountains.
Fun stuff.
Yeah. But, so this is Deep Dark Times as the show begins here. And a lot of things happening. Everybody, a lot of people in the country, in this United States, are in quarantine in some fashion.
They're supposed to be.
A lot of them. Not every state is following suit yet, which is a shame because
how many do you know?
Not all of them.
I know not.
I read that there are some Republican governors not pushing it, but there's like some cities that have Democratic mayors that are trying to push them because they're putting it in place. But if the rest of the state isn't doing anything,
then it's useless.
Yeah, it's hard for them to enforce it.
Right.
But unfortunately, I have one of the critical role jobs, and I have to go to work. And they're doing the best to keep us as safe as possible. We have had one fatality because of this, not related to work, but they don't believe, at least they think that they caught it somewhere else. It's just unknown at this point.
I know. How could you know?
Tracing. They do that. That's how they get to patient zero.
How could you know that the person that had COVID didn't get on the bus that day?
On the bus. Oh, and gave it to them?
And gave it to the driver.
Oh, it's entirely possible. Yeah.
Oh, what you're saying
The
is that he
company
didn't.
doesn't know.
The company is saying he didn't get it from another employee.
Correct.
Okay,
Yes,
I
yes,
see.
yes.
I thought you meant he didn't get it from being on the job, and I was like, "There's no guarantee of that."
No, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're doing their best, so I'm just
You feel relatively safe at work.
as safe as can be. I mean,
Yeah.
it's tough, but at least I'm still working, getting paid full time.
Yeah.
So anyhow, on to happier things. Oh, there's nothing happy going on.
Yeah, let's talk about what the happy things that have happened just in the last few days. Let's see. Our toilet overflowed.
Oh my gosh, yes, our toilet overflowed.
I have this weird rash, hives or something.
Yeah, what happened the other day? I was on the bus making one of my first turns. My coffee dumped onto the floor. I was on my second day back.
Second day back.
Yeah.
After you were sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, so wait, there's more.
Oh,
The
yeah, what
toilet
else?
overflowed. Oh, the car. There's a nail in our tire.
There was a nail in the tire.
We go out for lunches that are given to the community, and so
For the kids.
And so we don't go out that often, but we go out and the tire's flat, and I could feel that the car was wasn't driving properly, and I was like, "There's something going on. I don't know what it is yet." And then the light flashes on that I have a flat.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, I knew it was something.
Yep.
And we do have a tire that does occasionally get flat, and I thought, well, it's been a while since I drove the car. Maybe that's just that. Nope, it was a different tire. It was the new tire, and I found the nail, and it was like. Argh.
So I got that fixed this morning.
Thankfully, the auto places are considered essential.
At least for now. But yeah, so we've had a bunch of stuff going on. It's not just I was sick with a major cold for several days, and then all these things happen.
Yeah, it's I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's been
the end of the world as we know it.
It is. All right, so a lot of things are going on. There are huge changes in the comic book industry itself. All right, first off, you've got all these businesses that were minimized. A lot of them, restaurants had to close. They could do takeout or carry out, drive-throughs. Comic book stores were still one of those companies or businesses that were allowed to be open. A lot of them, in order to make their customers feel safer, they were doing carry out. You could call in an order, and then they would bring it right out to your car, so you didn't have to go in the store. But when you got cities like LA or other cities like that are enforcing mandatory shutdowns, these businesses are just closing.
Right.
Okay, so they were already suffering because people weren't coming in. Then, back when we were doing Comics TV, which we'll talk about Comics TV in a bit too, but when we were doing Comics TV in the 90s, there were multiple distributors. I don't know what happened because I stopped following comics for quite a few years, but one of the major distributors, Diamond, was able to consolidate with Dark Horse, Image, DC, Marvel, so they were exclusive with them, and that allowed them to control the market and drove the other, I forget the other name of the company, the other one out of business. So what happened was, now all these stores, it's harder to do all this, shipping and everything. And Diamond announced that they were not going to be shipping titles for the foreseeable future. And they just announced that they're not going to be paying any of their people either, anybody going up the line. So they get their money from the stores who order from them.
Uh-huh.
But then, since they're not going to be shipping anything to the stores, they're not going to be paying any of the publishers, who then are not going to be paying their creators. So you've got all these major, the superhero comics for the most part.
Uh-huh.
They're not paying all these people now.
Yeah.
And we're finding that, all this just-in-time delivery and all this, like stores, they have this computer system. So, like when 3 rolls of toilet paper are sold, their computer automatically orders it. So on the next shipment next week, they're getting 3 rolls of toilet paper.
Mm-hmm.
They're finding that it doesn't sustain a market turn like it has now.
Uh-huh.
They're not able to keep up with it, or the supply chain is so tight that they can't do anything.
Right.
So now these people are all getting screwed. there's this whole big thing. There was a hashtag pencils down because all these creators were getting
Oh, really?
they were
I
getting
didn't see
emails
that.
saying, put your pencils down because we're not going to be paying you, so don't work on this project right now.
Wow.
So the Comicsgate losers all started going after them, saying, all you losers, you're all working for the big companies and you're all making fun of us. But because we go direct to the shops and stuff. What?
Do you want to just take a little break out and explain what Comicsgate is all about? I mean, like, as briefly as possible.
Comicsgate is just a bunch of racist Nazis that do comics, and they'll claim that they're not all in that, but that's pretty much what they are.
And they can't get jobs with the big guys because of their beliefs, correct?
A lot of them have, I think some of them lost jobs that they had with some of the big companies. I think
there's racist.
I think that there's a few that still, because they were big, they never got fired.
Well, I'm not surprised.
Yes, but so there's this whole big thing going back and forth. And I forgot, they're misogynists. They hate women too.
Yes.
They don't like women going and messing up in their superhero worlds. They're all the incels and all this shit. They're just a bunch of.
Okay, sorry. So back to.
No, so what was I saying about the Comicsgate thing? I understand where I went off, but I don't remember what I was talking about.
That all these guys were like, oh, you.
Oh yeah, it's because pencils down.
Uh-huh.
So they were on Twitter going after it, but probably on Facebook too, saying, "Oh, look at you all have to put your pencils down. We get to keep working," because they do stuff on Kickstarter or Indiegogo and whatever. So that's how they make their money. And some of them,
but it's not going to last. It's not going to last. People aren't going to keep being like, you can't afford to kick money to the Kickstarter campaign when you don't have money to. So like, yes, they can keep. And I mean, honestly, the people working for the bigger companies can still create. Nothing's stopping them from creating their own stuff.
And the ones that are full time and actually do well, I'm sure they're doing okay. But there's a lot of people just like me. I'm an author and I've got 10 books, but I'm not making a living off of it. I just got a royalty check, which is a nice check, but it's not enough for us to live off of.
No, it's not even a month.
It
doesn't even pay our mortgage.
It's half a paycheck, basically.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's nice money.
No, of course it is, but I mean,
for some of these books that I wrote 10 years ago, it's
right.
Still kind of.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make it out like.
No, but I'm saying that's what a lot of creators are. They have full-time jobs, and a lot of them are losing those right now too.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're getting hit twice as hard.
Yeah.
So a lot of these people are suffering for that. But so that's a big thing. Then
you just want to turn it at the Comicsgate dumb fucks and just wait because the other shoe's going to drop and they're going to be suffering and putting their hands out too.
There's always going to be the racists that are going to buy their shit. There's always going to be those people.
Unfortunately.
It's raining pretty good now.
Is it raining? It's hailing. Yeah.
Oh, it is. Okay, so you got.
We talk about the weather a lot.
Well, we are in Seattle. So DC Comics announced that they're going to go all digital, at least for April.
Oh,
really? They're going to release all their comics digitally.
Well, at least they're still releasing stuff.
Yeah, which is a good and bad thing because it bypasses the stores, which means the stores aren't getting them.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's going to be fallout. There's going to be businesses of all kind, whether they're comic books or restaurants or other small businesses that just can't survive this. That withstand this kind of downturn, that are not going to survive.
I've always been.
I mean, your friend just got her badge taken away today when she went to pick up her last check. I'm thinking she just lost her job.
She doesn't think so.
I think so. Why would they take the badge away? They're closed indefinitely too.
Yeah, and she doesn't. She was saying that she can't. And I said, well, like Macy's and all of that. She goes, so they can't fire us all at once.
Yes.
And I said,
130,000 people with Macy's, they're just all out of work.
No.
And Penny's announced today that they're laying everybody off.
They are a different. I mean, they're not a retail store.
No, I know.
And they'll come,
but they need people. They need people in their business to work to survive. So,
correct.
Yeah. And it's a very hands-on business too, so they have to be very clean.
Yeah,
they should be at least.
Well, they should be, right?
So yeah, so I mean, it's going to affect a lot of people.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
This is going to affect a lot of people.
But moving to digital, I feel like is smart because I feel like, especially, I mean, if you have money, obviously people like us who don't really have a ton of extra money laying around, if you were to get laid off, we only have so much savings that would last us so long.
Mm-hmm.
But people who kind of have a little bit of money to play with, I don't know. Those aren't the same people that are necessarily reading comics, I guess. I'm just kind of going digital makes sense in that I would think people are stuck at home. They're, trying to find a way, something to do. Books, I would think, would sell. You can't go out to a bookstore or a comic book store or whatever, but you can download a digital book. So, I mean, I like that there's new options coming out. Like, I think about the fact that TV shows are going to be coming out, depending on how long this lasts. I mean, a lot of them have wrapped up for the season already, but.
Well, to go along with that, there's a lot of people online who are talking about, I forgot exactly how it goes, but they're binging all this stuff, whether it's art or music or television.
Because you have the time to. Now.
Yes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're complaining about the creators wanting to get paid.
Oh my God.
Yes. They're complaining that creators aren't. Well, because what's happening right now is a lot of indie creators are giving stuff away.
Yeah.
Because they understand they're people, they're humans. They understand that all these people are stuck at home.
Yeah.
And let's give some stuff away right now. Help other people out. At the same time, you'll read my stuff. Maybe you'll buy it. Maybe you'll buy it in the future.
Yeah.
So they're doing that.
It's a big risk to take.
It is because I read some post that said, it's not going to be long before people are going to be saying, how come it's not free? Why do we got to pay for your shit now?
Yeah, because like you were saying the other day, like people are going to forget. People forget shit so easily. And it's like, how long does this have to hold out before people...
Well, for the essential workers, the food service people, the grocery store people.
Oh, thank you, cashiers. Thank you. I see it all over Facebook,
making
all over Twitter.
$7, $8 an hour.
Exactly, but they'll still. But as soon as this is all over, they're going to go back to not wanting to pay them that $15 an hour minimum wage,
without a doubt.
Well, anyway, yeah, we can move on.
But you're right.
Yeah.
So, I've gotten some amazing stuff. Ezra Clayton Daniels, who we did Bottom Feeders, and his pal Ben Passmore. We did the other one, Sports as Hell.
Right.
But he gave away with his partners Upgrade Soul, the digital version, which is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
We're gonna review that.
Yeah.
But that book is. I've seen the book and the pictures.
We gotta stop doing the same creator.
But they gave it away, and it's a long book with full music score and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. Yes, I know that.
We've
got other stuff.
There's worse people to do all the what I mean?
Like, yeah, exactly.
They're good.
Exactly.
There's so much out there. I'd like us to. I want us to have a broad.
Well, we are. We've got.
But also,
stuff.
I really, really like their work, and so I want to support it too.
Exactly, but we are, and I've read other stuff. Like today, we're doing Peter Bagge, which we haven't done before, and. We're going to be doing
Though he's been around a long time.
Oh, yeah. We're going to be doing Persepolis because I've already read that. And we've got other ones. We've got some new ones that we picked up that we mentioned a few weeks ago that we picked up from some creators that were supposed to be coming to Emerald City Comic Con. But there was another one that I got. Let me just find it real quick. But it's In Vitro from William Roy. 158-page book about IVF.
Yeah.
That him and his wife went through. It was a whole full graphic novel. I mean, again, we'll make sure to get reviews of these in the next.
That's going to be really exciting to read from a queer standpoint too, and also thinking about like my mother was adopted. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of angles I think that we'll touch on when we read that.
Yeah. So a lot of good stuff. Now the last thing before we get to our book. I've mentioned before, and it's in our header and everything. I produced and co-hosted Comics TV in the 1990s. It debuted in May of 1993.
Comics
TV.
You couldn't sing it with me. You had to go off.
It's when you get to the theme song, which is I don't know how many episodes in. It's a good theme song. I'm sorry, it's good. It's too long, but it's good.
It's not too long for the time.
But anyhow, the first 5 episodes have been uploaded to YouTube. It's COMX-TV or -TV. And the first 5 episodes, for 2 of them have interviews, and that was a big portion of our show. I haven't done it yet, but we're going to go through, and we're actually going to document all the books we actually reviewed too. So I'll have a list of all those also. Eventually, not yet, but there's just it's a goofy show. It gets pretty good after a few seasons. We have puppets and a lot of good interviews and do cons and all kinds of stuff. So the show gets really good. We get some good looking sets. The early ones we just did in some comic book stores until we were figuring out what the hell we were doing. But those are up, and I'm going to continue to take those and upload those until I have all of them up there. They're under my personal Michael F. Rizzo YouTube account, but you should be able to find it under Comics TV. All right. So let's get to this week's book. We decided, I had bought this a while ago because when we were at Short Run, I met Peter Bagge, who in the 90s was one of my heroes. I used to love reading Hate with Buddy Bradley. And I had bought, since I started reading comics again a few years ago, I started buying a few of them and a couple of the graphic novels compilations. So I saw this book. I got it online, Apocalypse Nerd. And I read it, and I'm like,
did you ever imagine, at the time that you were like,
no,
and now you live in Seattle?
No,
where he's from?
No, I had no idea. To me, Seattle was like a million miles away. It really was.
It was thousands of miles away.
Yes, but it was so far away. It was it was not,
not even on your radar.
No, not even close. But this book,
I got a cut on my knuckle.
Oh, that probably hurts.
It does, but I have no idea where it came from.
This book fits in pretty good with these current times.
It's scary. How well it fits.
So just
just a little bit.
So he wrote this in 2007, but he writes back in early 2003, when the leaders of the United States were doing everything in their power to start a war against Iraq, I heard a diplomat from that other member of the so-called Axis of Evil, North Korea, brag on the radio that his country now had the capability to hit Seattle with a nuclear bomb. So he says the pronouncement got little to no play in the American media, let alone an official response from the U.S. government. So it freaked him out, and he's like, I live in Seattle. What happens if they fucking bombed here? So basically, this whole book is about what could happen
when they bombed.
What could happen if they bomb Seattle?
Yeah.
So why don't you give us the synopsis of the book? Oh my gosh,
I already forgot what we were doing.
We're doing a synopsis.
Okay, so software engineer Perry and his friend Gordo are 2 average suburban guys who just wanted to go camping in the North Cascade Mountains near Seattle. But Kim Jong-il had other plans. Now Seattle is a smoldering nuclear wasteland, and Perry and Gordo are about to be put to the test in ways they've never imagined.
Oh my gosh. That is scary.
So scary.
So, Mr. Bagge, Peter Bagge's series Neat Stuff and Hate were some of the most influential and best-selling alternative comics of the 1990s, and Bagge has produced over 50 publications with Fantagraphics. Bagge has also been published by Drawn and Quarterly, Dark Horse, and Reason Magazine. He is the recipient of several Harvey Awards, an Inkpot Award, and was named a Rockefeller Fellow for Literature. Publishers Weekly said he is American satirical cartooning at its most inventively hilarious. Playboy said folk hero Buddy Bradley from Bagge's seminal 1990s comic series Hate defined and transcended grunge era slackerdom. I loved reading those comics, and one of them, when I was skimming through these Comics TV, one of these books, I don't know if it was one of his, but one of these books that we've talked about was in there. So I know we did a lot of these books early on. You heard the story. It's a full graphic novel, 118 pages.
Well, it was like six parts, I think. 4 parts, 6 parts. But we have
it was published by Dark Horse, and it's got his typical style. This is what all of his characters look like. They're very, very similar. They're like exaggerated facial features, and like their arms are big, round, and wiry, and stuff like that. And that's what all of his characters always look like.
Yeah.
They all have that same type look.
It's a style. Yeah.
It is. It's a good style. I love it. Very cartoony.
Cool. Yeah, I like it.
Very cartoony. So the story opens up with who are the two guys? Perry and Gordo. And they're leaving camping. They just finished camping. And all these cars are flying by them the other way. And they're like, what the fuck is going on? Why are all these cars like...
Slow down, asshole.
Yeah, so they're getting... And they can't figure out. They're trying to find out anything on the radio. But they just figure that they're in the mountains. You know?
Well, and if you're from Western Washington, Eastern Washington too, which we don't necessarily have. All of our listeners are kind of spread out all over the country, but you know that when you're in the mountains, so there's this mountain range, the Cascade Mountain Range, and it divides the state into Western Washington and Eastern Washington. And so when you go over the mountains, you don't really have, especially the pass that I believe, based on rating it, I believe they're on Highway 20, which is one of the highest points to cross that closes every winter. And so there's like no reception. Like there's no way they're getting anything on the radio. So they're trying to tune into this radio to find out like, is something going on? Like, is there a fire? I mean, who knows? And of course they're not finding out anything.
Exactly.
Because they can't get the radio. They're just seeing these people speeding by them.
Well, then finally they get something. It's like, all residents of the Puget Sound region are urged to stay at home until further notice.
Yeah.
Do not panic. We repeat, do not panic. And they're like, what the heck is going on? The National Guard has been summoned and are ready to assist. They're like, what the hell? The radio just died. What's going on? So they're like, oh, so Gordo said, it's just a hoax, you know. And
yeah, it's in the 80s.
Like,
in the 80s, somebody did a hoax. There's alien invasion.
No, that was
right?
The 80s. It was like the 40s.
Oh, the 40s.
Orson Welles.
Orson Welles. That's
War of the Worlds.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what they're comparing it to. Saying, or Gordo is saying it's just a hoax. So it's not real.
So we have to explain. Perry's kind of the nerdy one of the two. He's not a hunter.
I wonder how they became friends, because they seem like a very unlikely pair.
Exactly. and but they went camping. Gordo is like he's the racist, misogynist douchebag.
Yes.
That a lot of people have as friends. He's just that guy that is an ass.
And nobody ever told him that the shit that he was saying wasn't okay. I know.
That is exactly, I know people like that.
Yes, you do.
So that's kind of who they are. And Gordo's like the hunter and everything. So like when they're camping, he's the guy who get food and whatever. So what happens is they finally stop. They need gas. No, they just go to the gas station. They go to this gas station to see what's going on, and the cashier has a gun. And it's like, okay, you're here to loot. Get out. We're not getting you. So they're like, what's going on?
Well, because the place looked closed. And like, what?
Right. And she's like, what's going on? Ain't you fleeing from the fallout too? And they're like, fallout? And like, what fallout? You two been living in a cave or something? They're like, well, yeah.
Kind of.
We've been camping. From the bomb, of course, that lunatic Kim Jong-il nuked Seattle this morning, and all hell's breaking loose. So that's basically the story.
So then it's like,
it goes on from there.
So I was a little sad because
Seattle was nuked.
Well, yes, but Peter spelled Cedar Woolley wrong.
Okay, but
I'm from Cedar Woolley.
Hey, Peter,
I was raised there.
Peter, I wasn't.
So it's just a little.
To me, it's okay because you know what? I didn't even fucking notice.
It is.
I lived there for 6.5 years, and I didn't even notice that you spelled it wrong.
It is okay. I'm not like it's no offense really taken, but it just.
I was disappointed that you decided to go to Darrington though instead of Cedar.
I mean, I get it. I don't know that I'd want to live out in Apocalypse in Cedar Woolley either.
I had a friend who was from. Where were you from?
I don't know. Who are you talking
Brandon.
about? Oh, LaConner.
Look, from LaConner. And he was a punker when he was young. And
punker?
He was a punk. They, Mohawk and all that kind of stuff. He was a guitar player. And they said that they knew not to go to Cedar Woolley. That was one place not to go.
You know what's funny is my friend also said the same thing. But I don't think she was from. She lived in LaConner when she had a young family, but I don't remember where she's from.
Yeah, I don't know.
But she also said the same thing. Like, we were warned to stay away from Cedar Woolley people.
Yeah.
Because we're upriver. But to us, like concrete is upriver.
Yeah. So the story goes, they're trying to find a place to hide out. I mean, that's their thing, and they're meeting other people along the way. People are crazy.
Well, meeting is.
Well, yeah, people got guns. They're killing each other over bottles of 7-Up, and
I don't think it says 7-Up. I think it's just soda.
It's a soda, but
it's important to differentiate, because we don't want to advertise for anybody.
I understand. But they end up, at this basically a commune, and oh hell breaks loose basically, and
and then more racist shit is said by Gordo.
He's a racist. I don't blame Peter. I understand he's taking that character.
He's making the character
into a total ass.
Yeah.
In the end, it all works.
It all works out. It definitely all worked out in the end.
But yeah, it's
what did you think? Did it prepare? Like I like the way that he kind of progresses from this guy who
wasn't prepared,
just the software nerd,
yeah,
to the guy who's hunting the deer. And
you just told me yesterday that I would die, or was it today that I would die in an apocalypse?
Did I? Why? Oh, yeah. What was I talking about?
It was today. You told me I would die in an apocalypse. I don't know.
You don't remember? You just remember that I said that to you?
Oh yeah, I don't forget that.
But you don't remember why? I don't remember why.
You don't remember why you told me?
You must have said something.
You said I wouldn't survive an apocalypse.
Okay, but you must have said something. I mean, I wouldn't just say that out of nowhere. Like we're just sitting and watching TV, and I'm just like, you would never survive an apocalypse.
No, you weren't.
Like you must have said something weird.
I probably did, but I don't know what it was.
You can't even handle watching me do my tea injections, so you probably wouldn't survive an apocalypse.
Anyhow. So the story.
Are you not happy?
The story just goes on, and you're right. Perry becomes a good hunter.
Yeah.
He has a female companion that they end up running away together. There's a lot of stuff that happens, and
then they get
makes a home. Yeah. Well, of course they do, because they're not using condoms. But
track your cycle.
Track your cycle. Yeah. But I mean, it's a good story for this time right now, because it just makes you think about what could happen, and especially when you hear that. First of all, the gun stores are considered essential businesses, which is bullshit.
Yeah.
And number one, number two, that people are buying more guns, like they think this is the end of the world.
Yeah.
And like this is the apocalypse coming, so they're buying guns just in case.
Yeah. What is that?
They're preparing. They got to kill all the libs. The libtards need to be killed in case.
Please don't use that word. Not just because of the end part of it. It's awful. Anyway.
But I mean, it's a good story.
It's a great story. Yeah. It really makes you think. I could absolutely picture that reality.
Well, yeah, especially out here. We live.
And I don't think that we would survive, honestly.
I don't know how long we'd survive.
I don't think we would survive long.
Our kids would scream and yell, and somebody would hear us, and then they'd come and kill us.
Yeah. For our 7-Up. Soda.
Our soda. Yes, soda. They would come and kill us for something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, they got this. There's two communes. There's the all-woman commune that was supposed to be an egalitarian one originally.
Yeah.
But then somebody had to be
till somebody was in charge. Yeah.
And then there's the one that was started by some nerd who made a lot of money selling some business he had, and a bunch of other nerds.
It sounds like it was a commune before anything happened, and it was like self-sustaining, and
exactly.
And then this nuclear bomb hit, and
they were ready.
People kind of found their
and they were all ready for
found their way to it
because they had food. They were growing food and everything.
Their own food, yeah.
Yeah, but it just they got run over. They didn't expect that they would. They thought they were prepared for everything, but they weren't.
Right.
But yeah, I love Peter's artwork.
Me too.
He puts a lot of detail and stuff too. I mean, it's not just a simple picture, like a picture of trees and mountains and stuff. And there's a ton of he knows when to make the background simple versus having a lot of detail in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's really good at that. And I love his artwork. Facial expressions. I mean, just look at this page at the facial expressions on the left side there. There's just so many different ones.
Yeah, for sure.
but you can read it all in their eyes or their face and everything. He does a wonderful job at doing that.
Yeah.
And his artwork is really clean, but such a
I mean,
good
honestly, you
cartoony-
can see what's happening in the pictures without reading the details. You get
Yeah,
kinda
exactly.
get an idea of what's happening
Exactly.
without even reading the words. You just, I mean, and there's a lot of
Text.
text happening here. There's a lot of conversation. There's a lot of going back and forth, but
Yeah.
you can get what's happening,
Mm-hmm.
which is not something you can say about a lot of artists.
Yeah, no, I mean, you can read it in the pictures, but this one here.
Yeah.
That's right. Perry sneaks away, and he's hiding out at the female
in the bushes of the
Oh, well, before that you've got
women's.
the
Can you
young
stop saying female, women.
the women. They're women.
I know, but you keep saying female.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
At the women's commune, and they're brought over there. Perry and Gordo are brought over there by the one young.
Oh yeah, the teenager. Oh, I forgot all about that part.
Dylan.
Oh,
Dylan brings them
God.
over there, and he's like, well, here's because they're like, we're gonna live at this place. It's all guys. There was one or two women there, right? It wasn't all men, was it?
I think it was all men.
Was it? Anyhow, so he's like, I'll bring you over and show you the women commune.
Mm-hmm.
So he brings them over, and they're looking at it. Next thing they turn around, and he's jerking off. He's jerking off, staring at the women, and they're like, okay, we're gonna leave you to this. And then one of them sees them, and they come and they smack him around, and they save him from that. But
they don't save him.
Perry saves Dylan.
Perry
which is important later in the story.
Yes, it does come into play.
Yeah. So everything, I mean, in a good story, pieces like that come.
Oh,
into play.
absolutely. Yeah, you can tell that he's a talented writer. Just based on that little thing alone.
Yeah, putting that together, and then so then eventually the women, first the men's gets run over, basically by Native Americans. Native Americans take it over,
right,
and they pillage it, and then. The women.
I just don't. Do you think that it was really? I don't know, but my feelings are that it wouldn't occur that way.
Probably not. I think it was just an exaggerated thing.
Yeah.
But then you've got the women's eventually gets taken over. But before that, Perry sneaks over there when the men's gets run over, and there's one cute young girl, and and she's like, you can't stay here. And he's like, what am I going to do? I can't, there's nowhere else to go.
And he was injured or something, right?
Oh, he wasn't injured. She broke his leg.
That's right. That's right.
Look, there's a bear. And then she smashed his leg with a hammer.
Yeah, that's right.
Then she brings him back to her friends, and she's like, oh, we've got to take care of him. We can't just let him go. So
they're like, why not?
They let him live in a doghouse.
Chained up too.
Yes, in a doghouse. It's pretty degrading and demeaning to him, but to them, especially the leader, it's the way a man should be. That's the way she felt.
I can't disagree.
Oh, yeah. But anyhow, I mean, so things go on, and it's an interesting story.
It is very interesting,
and like you said, you could see the progression, and you makes you think about, okay, would I be able to, first of all, survive this? Would I be able to
kill for life, kill to survive,
kill other people?
Yes, kill other people to survive. Yeah,
and to for food, or to save my family, or gas for the car. I mean, because it's everyone for themselves at that point.
Exactly. Yeah.
They don't even leave. I mean, what they say? I think they said that the state was like blocked in, so you couldn't leave the state. You couldn't go to Canada.
Right.
It was blocked, so there was no way to get out.
Well, because you are potentially nuclear. Well, like
the fallout.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this was a good. This was a good story. It was good. It was a good read.
Yes.
And really liked it. Love Peter Bagge's stuff.
Talented artist, talented writer.
Yeah, it was nice to meet you again. I think I said that one at our short run episode, but it was nice meeting you when we were at short run.
Yeah.
And we I think that's all for this week.
Is that it?
Anything else?
No, not that I can think of.
A lot of stuff going on. We got a lot of books to read.
Yes.
We're gonna plow through some books and just keep going. We got a ton of stuff for the next few months at least.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that we kind of stockpiled some stuff.
Yeah.
We didn't foresee that this would be the case, but we have in-house studio-ish, so.
This is a studio.
No, it's definitely a studio. It's just not what I think that our listeners would probably think of as a studio.
Oh, it's a studio. Come on.
As you wave to the
Malika
neighbors.
Garib, yeah, exactly, because we're in our window. Malika Garib is in her husband's closet with clothes all around her, broadcasting for NPR.
It's a nice, quiet place, honestly. Our closet would be a good place if it was big enough.
Well, our closet is big enough
for both of us.
You should see her. She's jammed in there. So the clothes actually probably are good for damping
when you're one
sound.
person, yes. When you're one person in a closet, it's a little easier than both of us.
Well, if our
and
closet,
both of our computers
if our
and our
closet
soundboard
didn't lead into our bathroom, so we didn't have to go in there, then there'd be plenty of room. But there's also a doorway into our
I think
bathroom.
we could potentially do it. Yeah.
Yes, if we got rid of the one wardrobe we had.
You know what we could do is my brother has that fold out dining room table. We could do that kind of thing, but then we still have to have someplace to store like our soundboard and all stuff.
But anyhow,
I kind of like that idea. Maybe we should think about it.
There's not enough light in there.
What do you need light for? You just put a lamp in.
I guess we could put a lamp on the table.
What do you need light for?
You're right. I guess in studios sometimes they're dark in there.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we'll think about it.
When I did the
we forgot the biggest thing that happened too.
Oh yeah, my computer hard drive died.
Yeah.
See, I knew there was something else. My hard drive died. I just went to turn it on one day. Nope, nothing there. It won't turn on. Blue screen of death, and I'm hitting all the F buttons, and finally I figure out how to go through the I'm on my phone searching, what do I do? Because I don't remember any of the details. It's been so long since I had any computer issues.
Right.
So, okay, do the diagnostics thing. So I go through that, and it gives me a code. So then I Google the code, and hard drive failure. Mm-hmm. So I call up. I didn't call because I hate talking on the phone, but I get on with. No, I called. I did call. I hate getting on the phone. Yeah. That's right. Because they misgendered me over and over. I said, I'm not a ma'am. And they kept calling me ma'am. And I said, I'm not a ma'am. Well, should I call you sir? And I said, no. And as I'm about to say, just call me by my name, since you've asked me at the beginning of the conversation what my name was. Mm-hmm. So you know my name.
Right.
As I'm about to say, you can just call me Parker, they interrupt and say, okay, ma'am.
When did they hang up on you?
When I
I'll ask for a supervisor.
I'm like, because so yes, I asked to speak to a supervisor because I was pissed off because they kept misgendering me.
Yeah, but the thing was the computer was 2
weeks outside of the warranty. Yep. 2 weeks outside of the warranty, and the hard drive was just dead. And I was like, I go, you get that, like, where I'm coming from, right? Like, it's kind of ridiculous that 2 weeks outside of a warranty, and it's like, you're going to really just drop. And they're like, are you suggesting ma'am? Like, they used ma'am so many times, it was just boiling under my skin. Are you suggesting, ma'am, that there's some kind of countdown, ma'am, on the computer, ma'am, so that it's going to break as soon as the warranty is expired? And I'm like, well, no, I know that that's not how it works. But what I'm saying is, okay, ma'am. So what I need you to do is there is a $35, $50, whatever, I don't even remember what the number was, service fee for this call, ma'am. And I was like, I'm not paying you. Goodbye. And they're like, okay, ma'am. I'm like, no, please stop calling me ma'am. Well, should I call you sir? No. Okay, ma'am. I'm just getting so worked up talking about it again. So then I'm like, you know what? I want to talk to your supervisor. And then nothing.
They hung up.
No, they sat, like, you can hear them. They sat there for like
debating what to do.
Yeah, and then click.
Yeah. I know how it works in a call center. It's easy to press that button.
Oops.
But your call's being recorded. You just hope that you're.
I know. I should have gone through and done something about it and called back and said that they were But I did tweet to on my personal Twitter, and then I tweeted to HP, and they said, "Oh, well, tweet to HP Dell." Oh my God,
it's not HP, it's Dell.
Oh my God, thank you for correcting me, because HP is the replacement computer. Because I told Mike I will not ever buy another Dell. Dell Cares was the Twitter feed for who was supposed to help me, and I tweeted to them and said, your customer service continually misgendered me and was completely unhelpful, and they didn't even respond.
Right. So I found a hard drive in the garage, put it in, it didn't work.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you remembered that we bought it at Costco.
Costco for the win.
And we have a 2-year warranty instead of 1. I called them up. I spent an hour on the phone.
I was so grateful to you.
Spent an hour on the phone
to you for making
because it was like a half-hour wait to begin with.
But then you had to go through all the stuff again that I had like I wrote down
I know.
all the information.
I was able to skip a lot of it though.
Oh, really? So you would have spent probably 2 hours on the phone going through all of it.
I did that. Well, they told me to do it, but I did it. But we were able to talk, and she was moving ahead. And I ended up talking to 3 different people. The last guy gets on. He goes, "Yeah, thanks for thanks for waiting and everything. Yeah, we determined that this is what he does. We determined that we can't replace your computer. I mean, we can't replace it. So we're going to give you a new computer.
We can't fix it.
Yeah, we can't fix it.
So
that night, we went to Costco, and they gave me my cash back. I mean, how fucking good is that?
Yeah. So
they just gave me $400
if you want
electronics,
in cash. Check out Costco.
Unfortunately, they didn't have a deal nearly as good. The next closest one was like $150 more. But I found an HP that had all the same specs. Got it on eBay, brand new.
Yeah. And it's awesome.
Yeah. So
it's an HP.
And we got it in 3 days.
Not Adele, who likes to misgender their customers.
So we got it in 3 days, which was good. I mean, in the middle of all this. So we're very grateful for that.
Yes.
We're thanking the Lord himself. The Lord Satan.
We've been watching the chilling adventures of Sabrina. Oh my God. Thanks, Lucifer. Everything that happens. Oh, thanks, Satan.
It's very weird. That is not Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
No, there's no humor.
It is a very dark show.
It is dark. I love it though.
I know, that's good. That's why I said I think we need to watch Riverdale. Because I used to like reading Archie, so I'm wondering what that's like.
Yeah, I never watched Riverdale, but I did watch Sabrina the Teenage Witch with Melissa Joan Hart. So who knows?
She definitely was not like that. Now maybe off camera she was, but she wasn't on camera.
I don't know anything about Melissa Joan Hart.
No, I don't either. In fact, I don't know where she is. She's been quiet for a while, I think.
Not too long. She did that Melissa and Joey show not too long ago. Still, it was a while ago, I guess. Yeah. But she was doing. No, you know what? There was a new show on one of the channels or one of the Hulu or
you keep talking
Amazon.
And I'll look.
Okay, she was married to a guy, and this teenager came to like pretend that she was like some long lost relative or something and get money from them or get support from them, but really she just wanted their money and then she was going to run off.
Oh, she's 43 now.
Yeah. She wasn't even a teenager during the show, I don't think. I was maybe like a 19.
I just read something early this week or last week that said cast teenagers in teenage roles. Don't cast these 20-something-year-old people in these. Well,
you know why they do it. To get away from having to pay them and having to deal with school and stuff. Because they can only work between certain hours. You know, there's a lot of, because they have to have an education. So then they have to pay for somebody to be on set. If they need them that many hours a day, they have to have like a teacher on set to do their schooling and stuff.
Mm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So let's see. That was her. Clarissa Explains It All was the big thing. Then Sabrina, Melissa and Joey.
Oh, Melissa and Joey, that's what it was.
And then she was in the films Drive Me Crazy, 9 Dead, and God's Not Dead too.
Oh.
But it calls her a producer, director, and actress. So I don't know what else.
That wasn't the newest stuff?
They don't have anything else. So I don't know.
I know that she was in this newer show that
I don't think so.
Oh, okay, I must be wrong.
No, there's nothing else. Not a newer show. You new sometimes is 15 years ago.
Wow. Do you remember when everything was 10 years? Was it 5? Everything was 5 years ago.
For me.
For you, yes.
Yes, everything was.
Oh, it happened about 5 years ago.
And then,
oh, yeah, when was that? 5 years ago.
Everything. It was just a good round number to use. That was like for 10 years I did that.
No Good Nick from 2019.
Oh. What was that?
What did you look up? No Good Nick. That's the show I was talking about.
Oh, wait. You know what? I did see that too, but it didn't show her on the cover. So
she's the mother of the. See, yeah, it was on Netflix. It says April 15th, so there's more coming out too. Second season.
Oh, all right. Anyhow, well,
I don't know how we got off on this really strange Melissa Joan Hart tangent. Oh, Sabrina. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I guess that makes sense.
Which, all right. Until next episode, my name is Mike.
And I'm Parker.
And this is
the Graphic Novel Podcast.
Thanks for listening to the Graphic Novel Podcast.
Make sure you find us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter at Graphic Novel Pod.
The other places, I think it's Graphic Novel Podcast, but it's Graphic Novel Pod on Twitter.
I was surprised I remember that much.
I
So
know, because you know what? I would not have remembered that. That was good. And if you like the show, please go to your favorite store that you listen to podcasts and at least give us a 5-star. Or if you have the time, leave a review. You can send us an email at graphicnovelpodcast@gmail.com.
Tell your friends about us.
Definitely tell your friends about us. Check us out. Visit us on social media, on Twitter. That's where I am the most. It's on Twitter. I try to avoid Facebook at all costs. And you can also, if you go to anchor.fm /graphic novel podcast, you can go to our site and you can leave us a voice message. And if you leave us a nice message, maybe we'll play it on the air. Is that it? Nothing else? You don't want to say anything else?
Nope.
Good for you, Krabby Butt.